time for a fun topic. It is our YouTube portion of the podcast, frontstretch.com/YouTube to watch the visual version to see, my new look, I guess, that I had for Throwback Weekend, and I've been too lazy to shave off my face. Uh, as well as Dalton Hopkins, our guest Noah Lewis, and obviously Michael Massey. Last week we did a draft of the NASCAR 75 drivers list. Michael, you weren't there, and Noah, you weren't there, but Michael, you actually know who we picked. What did you think? I think you told us everyone, but Brian did a good job.
You guys had good. Brian's team was terrible, but you guys took Bobby Allison and basically murdered him, and then stomped over his gravestone.
I picked his son.
Yeah, but the rest, one of you should have picked Bobby Allison. One of you should have picked Rusty Wallace. Instead, you guys picked people that have like 30 to 50 less career wins than these guys. So yeah, major oversight.
Well, I thought it was going to a Twitter vote, so I picked Dale Earnhardt Jr. It didn't.
It didn't. So you lost. But
I still won.
Your team is still better than Brian's. Brian's team was like, I don't know, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Danica Patrick.
Well, let's jump right into the NASCAR. This time we are drafting tracks. I've decided to, because I am the commissioner of this league, that it can be any track you want that is active. Just keyword is active.
No. I have a plan for inactive.
Nope. It's active. If you know what? We'll say it can be anywhere in the world.
Oh.
How about that?
My cul-de-sac. I raced bikes there when I was.
It has to be a
sanctioned
track that an actual.
It's still active. I still race my bicycle, my tricycle on there.
Do you sanction those races?
I do by myself. It's $5 a person. Come on down. And
all right. Well, there we go. You're leaking your draft board before it starts, but basically we'll get 4 picks each. It is snake style. The order goes as followed. I changed it up a little bit. Noah, you have the number 1 pick as our guest. Then it's myself. Then it's Massey. Dalton, you get to pick last, but you always get back-to-back picks, so congrats on that. Noah, you have the entire world at your fingertips.
Okay. That's fun. I think I'm gonna stick NASCAR. All right. So if I've got the entire world to pick a track and I'm sticking with NASCAR, you know what? I'm gonna pick Bristol, but without the dirt.
Good pick. I was hoping
I'm just writing Bristol on the thing because that's a normal. Like, if you pick Bristol dirt, you're disqualified. So, all right. So it is my turn. Dang, I'll save my sentimental pick because I think it'll survive. I could go. Daytona. I think is it's one of the good picks up there. I think that'll go before it comes back to me. But I'm gonna go with Darlington. I was just there. I think it's a great track. It produces great racing. I mean, the Xfinity Series was insane. It's probably I'm gonna go with Darlington.
That's me up next. I will go with both of those were tracks I was considering. I feel like I gotta take the easy layup and go with Martinsville.
Thank God.
I was gonna go. I was between Martinsville and Darlington as my next pick. So
yeah, okay. When you mentioned Daytona, I was about 2 seconds away from throwing my mic. Thank God you didn't, because Daytona is clearly the best track ever created.
I almost picked it.
it too, but
I'm sure you did.
I knew I was going to save it for the guy who lives 2 minutes from there.
There's a good reason why you didn't. Why you almost picked it, because it's the best track on the circuit. It's produced the best racing in the NASCAR season, weekend, year in, year out. on a yearly basis. Every time we go there, it's going to be an exciting race, no matter what. And it has a road course. It has one of the one of the 3 crown jewel endurance races in the world. So not only is it one of the greatest sports car tracks on the planet, it is also one of the greatest NASCAR tracks on the planet. Don't at me. Daytona is the best racetrack. So,
Are you saying you enjoyed the Cup Series on the road course?
I did actually. I really did. Yeah. I don't care what you think. I thought it was better. I mean, the second race there was actually kind of fun. So, I mean, it's better than some of the other road courses we go to. That's for damn sure. So,
Well, you pick again.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
get back-to-back picks. Yes. Look
Oh,
at
man.
Noah knowing what's up.
It's like
That's
Indy
about
track.
all I know.
All right, so before I go further, so like, can it be? So, what exactly are we judging these based off of? Like, what is it? Just like versatility? Is it like what produces the best racing? Like, what is it exactly?
Both. We'll say both. Like,
Oh,
obviously,
man.
I think the number one key is what will produce the best racing.
Wow. Okay.
But I think like prestige of it should be a factor. Like we all pick probably like of the top 10 most prestigious tracks on the circuit, we probably pick the top 4.
Yeah.
I'll put it of current framework, because there is one out there that is probably more prestigious than all of them, but they don't run they don't run the right.
Yeah, I already know which one you're talking about, but I don't think I'm going to pick that one. I'm also not going to pick the other one that a lot of people are probably thinking of. I'm probably going to pick one that's also very near and dear to my heart. It has produced great racing no matter what goes there, whether it be open wheel cars, whether it be NASCAR, whether it be sports cars, no matter what. And that's Watkins Glen. Every year I've been there. I went there when I was very little. It produced great racing back then. It still produces very good racing. It's one of the 4 endurance races that IMSA has every year. It was really great for IndyCar when it still was there, and it has a lot of history behind it. Formula One used to go there, so it's also got a great fan base behind it. It does not fail. It is one of the greatest road courses on the planet, one of the greatest road courses in the United States, if not the best. So probably going to go with that one as my second pick.
I love that track. So is it Massey now?
It is Massey's pick.
Oh man, that snake's confusing me.
You always are picking. So look, your first pick, you always pick before or after Dalton.
Okay.
Just think about it like that.
Okay, I'll forget. But
It won't
all
happen.
right. So I'm gonna go. I feel like I gotta keep it. You know, we did all this work. I was there last summer as part of the revival, and Noah was there. Yeah, it was a good time. We put all this work in to get this thing back on there. I might as well have it on my racing schedule. North Wilkesboro.
Pretends to be shocked you picked that. I had a feeling you were going to pick that. All right. This specifically will be the oval version of this track.
Yeah.
I'm locking in the second crown jewel. I'm locking it in. It's the most prestigious racetrack that NASCAR goes to and decides to spit in it when it does the road course of it. I'm picking Indy. I know it's not the best racing, but it's still, I would say, the most prestigious racetrack in the world. It's that, what, Silverstone and Daytona, probably and Le Mans, like the top 4. I'm gonna pick Indiana. I'm gonna take Indianapolis. It's too good to not pass up here. I feel like the upside is too good. So this is a high ceiling, maybe a low floor kind of pick you take, but to get it in the second round, I feel like I'm stealing it.
All right, get ready for this one. It's a track that has a movie after it. It's a track that has songs after it. It's a track that has the best party scene in the world, and the only track where you will find me on a Sunday walking into the media center popping some Tylenol. It is Talladega. That's what I'm taking.
And it's haunted.
And it is nuts. You don't talk about what you see on the boulevard.
There's a horror movie made about it too.
That is a good pick. That is a good pick, Noah. So both I guess major super speedways are taken away. I'm not counting Atlanta in this. But Noah, you've gone with Bristol and Talladega. I have gone with Darlington, Indianapolis. Massey, you've gone with two short tracks, Martinsville and North Wilkesboro. And Dalton, you've rounded out your team with Daytona and Watkins Glen, if I can speak. Noah, you start us off in the third round.
Oh shoot, yeah, I guess I do start again. Wow. All right, not prepared. All right, so after that, okay, let me look around. I actually have some signs hanging up of racetracks. All right, so just what's coming off of the top of the head right now is a track that I always enjoy watching racing at, and that's because it has multiple grooves, multiple lanes. It's probably no, actually, it's definitely where we should be racing for the championship still if it was between the two. So for third pick, I'm going to go Homestead Miami Speedway.
You stole my pick. I thought it was dropping to me. I already wrote it into my slot.
No.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for your boy. I was gonna go with Homestead. I agree with you. I think it should be the championship race. If you want to listen to last week's episode, we talked about whether Kansas or Homestead should be the championship race over Phoenix. Oh man, you took that one from me. This is tough. This is getting tougher. You know what? I think since it's the home base, if it again, I can lock up 3/4 of the crown jewel. I can get the double. I think, so give me. I'll take Charlotte Motor Speedway because I get the Roval like Dalton gets the Roval with Daytona. So and they've had IMSA races there.
Get the Legend Roval.
Yep.
I get that as well. I get a drag strip. But I also get.
What are you getting the whole property?
I mean, basically, I get the Coca-Cola. So I basically, if I'm rolling out my schedule, I have.
He gets Hendrick. He gets all the car dealerships.
I have 3/4 of the crown jewel, and maybe I can work some sort of alliance with Dalton where our season consists of the crown jewel races. So
I get Michael Waltrip's Brewing Company.
I guess I get that too.
Get the QT on the corner.
Yeah.
So that's back to me now.
Give me Charlotte Motor Speedway. I think I'm feeling good about my draft.
All right, so that's back to me, right?
Look at you. You're learning. You're learning the list.
I is learning. Man, there's so many good ones out there that I'm going to leave off. I don't know. I guess I should get away from. I mean, my ideal schedule is 4 short tracks. So I might just go with that. That's crown jewel enough for me. But let's give it a little international flair. And let's go to the Monza Oval just to spice things up.
Ooh.
I mean, hey, if not for that track, that's the track that made Kyle Larson a future NASCAR champion.
I was going to say.
I'm not going to explain that joke.
Good. Inadvertently. How did that happen, Massey? Can you go in complete detail?
So should I just give you Monza? Because that could be, you could get the road course with it.
Yeah. Take the road course too. We could throw in the road course race every once in a while. I'll take the whole property. I'll take the whole country it's in.
Give me Italy. Hey, if you want to get Ferrari maybe into the Cup Series, there you go. You got Monza.
I'll have Ferrari going there one week and then North Wilkesboro the next.
Oh, my God.
And they break down both races because that's how Ferrari operates. All right, Dalton, your third pick.
Yeah, there is a track in Central Florida that has truly stood the test of time. And I once went there for an IMSA testing session. I think it was in 2020. I remember a Porsche driver, or who was then a factory Porsche driver by the name of Fred Machiavelli. And he described to me, I interviewed him, he described to me the track as a temple. Is a temple of speed, of racing, no matter what you call it. And that's because it's basically the same track that they made in the 1950s. And it has been there ever since. And every year, there is such a huge race fan count. There's so many people that come out for the 12 hours of that race every year, along with the WEC race they have. Of course, I'm talking about Sebring. It is a very interesting and really a track that I feel like shouldn't even exist, yet it does. There's so many bumps there. It's a track that has just been withered away over time, but that's what gives it its character. And not only that, it also has a character of its nearby culture. It's fans who absolutely love that race and travel to it every year. And one day I'm going to go there. It is on my bucket list to attend the 12 hours of Sebring and get absolutely blasted in the infield. I'm going with Sebring.
That is a good pick. Good pick. I like that. Give Sebring, the Sebring International Raceway, as your third round pick as we head into the final round. There's our board right there. Bristol, Talladega, Homestead for Noah, Darlington, Indianapolis, Charlotte for myself, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Monza. He really wants to use the oval, but we'll give him the whole thing. For Massey, Dalton, you went with Daytona, Watkins Glen, and then Sebring International Raceway. You are basically just covering the entire East Coast because you have Florida and New York as your two picks. So let's move on to the fourth and final round. Mr. Dalton Hopkins, what is your final selection?
I'm going with a fan favorite. Everybody loves it. Everybody talks about it. It's one of the best tracks in the world. I, of course, am talking about Texas Motor Speedway. Put it on the list. No, I'm just kidding. So
I'm shocked it didn't go 1-1.
I saw that look that Noah gave me. But
I was worried. The only thing good about the Texas Motor Speedway is the Buc-ee's down the street.
It's I'm telling you, we should just go the dirt track that's like right across the street there. I'm telling you. But instead, what I'm actually going with is another crown jewel track that was built way back in 1933.
There's no more crown jewel races, sir.
Yes, there is. There is one that we're all forgetting about. I'm not talking about a NASCAR crown jewel race. I'm talking about a crown jewel track internationally. It was built way back in 1933 by a guy who I'm not going to name, but it is considered one of the largest tracks in the world, if not the largest track in the world right now, at a whopping, if I am not mistaken, 24 kilometers long. It's known as the Green Hell. I could have gotten that wrong with the distance, but it's known as the Green Hell. Of course, I'm talking about the Nürburgring. It is an absolute monster of a racetrack. It really shouldn't even be a racetrack. It's more like a series of roads, but it takes a true masterclass driver to learn it, to remember where each corner, where each braking zone is. A legendary driver. They do a 24-hour race every year there that truly tests a man's endurance and his patience or her patience. And of course, the fan base there is fantastic as well. And plenty of places for you to camp out and enjoy a nice race on the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Boom. Getting international here. We're going to Italy. We're going to Germany. Massey, your final selection.
Yeah. So the final one, man, this is a tough one to close out. First, I'll give out some honorable mentions real quick. If we were going with inactive tracks, I would go with Asheville Weaverville Speedway because you listen to stories from back in the day. That's where all the fights happened. That's where the fans rioted and all this crazy stuff happened. I sound like that place was a good time back in the day. Another honorable mention would be the greatest short track in the world, which is South Boston Speedway. Gave us the best SRX race, but I think y'all aren't going to pick it, so I can do it with a undrafted free agency and pick it up later. But for the final pick, man, there's so many options. I feel like I don't know. Let's do some variety. Is Auto Club still an option because it has
Yes. Well,
probably been.
it's still intact for now.
I don't know what the status of it right now is. If there's still walls up and track and stuff, that's another one I'm really considering. But let's throw a little dirt on the schedule, and I don't mean Bristol dirt. I mean let's do some Eldora.
Wow.
True dirt track.
Well, the only person I was afraid would take my pick was Massey. And I'm picking this for sentimental reasons. Also, it has produced good racing. It just hasn't lately. It's getting better since the repave. But it's the track that I went to and fell in love with the sport with, and I had to pick it. This was the one I said at the beginning, like I could pick first, but I know I'll get it later. I picked Richmond. It's it's where I fell in love with the sport. Going to cup races, going to IndyCar practice when IndyCar was there. Obviously Massey being the other Richmond native in this group, I thought he might pick it. But I am going with Richmond, formerly known as Richmond International Raceway.
Formerly known as the Fairgrounds.
Yeah. I went to the state fair there.
Now, Massey, are you a Richmond native or are you?
Yeah,
just in the. There. Really?
I grew up here. I moved away for a while, but yeah, I am from.
Wow. Well, I have I've not missed a race at Richmond since 2016. I've done every single cup race, including the 2021, which is still a big win because there was only 21, 21 I met you. 2020 there were only like 6 of us there, and it was really cool to keep the streak alive. I grew up in coastal Virginia, so it is home track for me as well. However, I would not have picked that, but what I'm gonna pick is another track that's pretty sentimental to me, especially since being out in North Carolina. And I've gotten the honor and the privilege to call races here in the booth. And it's just one of the most feel-good tracks when you walk in and you see that list of winners and you see Ralph Earnhardt and you see all these guys. So I'm going with what's known as the world's most famous short track. I'm going with Hickory Motor Speedway for my final.
Nice.
Trey, you are muted.
Well, there you have it. So Bristol, Talladega, Homestead, Hickory for Noah, myself, Darlington, Indianapolis, Charlotte, Richmond. Massey went with Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Monza, and Eldora. Dalton with the Daytona, Watkins Glen, Sebring, and the Nürburgring.
You even put the umlauts over the U. I'm proud of you.
Called copy and paste.